Says I'm live, but I don't trust it.
I
I'm
wouldn't
gonna wait
trust
till I see
it.
it on here.
Would not trust
Mm-mm.
it.
I
Mm-mm.
wouldn't. I wouldn't if I were you.
I
So I'm still
wouldn't
waiting for it to
either.
pop up. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Nope.
We're about to. Here we are. We're live now.
Is anybody out there?
So
Hello?
excellent. Hello.
Oh,
It's so dumb. It's just us
Pluto to
today doing
Earth.
it.
Hello, hello. It's Pluto. Hello, are you there?
Excuse me. I have a little horse. Hey, Angela.
I don't see
He's like
nobody on
looking
this
next
stage
to
yet.
me.
There we go.
Oh, I see
Hey,
Angela. It's me, you, and Angela today. That's it. We're gonna have a chat.
oh, there's Happy Life.
Happy life. Hi, happy life. Everybody's starting to pop in. Daniel, how's the weather? Because we have to talk about it.
I want fall to be here because we're staying in the 80s. I mean, it's not
Uh,
been humid, so I mean, I should take it at that, but toward the end of summer, it just the heat just 80s to me is hot.
that
90
drags
was
on. Yeah.
horrible, up close to 100 was just no. So we're staying in the 80s, and I'm ready for it to not be in the 80s, but I'm also not ready for winter yet, neither. There's that. I
Right.
don't want to go from
Hey,
turning the air
Monica.
conditioner off to turn it right on to
Sorry.
the heating.
You,
Yeah.
you want to have a little gap where you don't have to have either on.
Yes, that would be
And
lovely.
that would be. Here today, it is rained earlier today. It's now cleared up. It's about 70 and no humidity and absolutely wonderful here today. Now it is. It was right earlier. But what I need to talk about is this fabulous outfit you got rocking there. Let's look
Thank
at it. Let's look at that.
all wrapped up for you.
Yeah. And with the pretty bow.
That's right. Well, I can't help myself. I'm too
I
I'm
mean,
too
it starts to
I'm
dress
too
up.
sexy for this shirt.
And the hat, child, the hat is
You
giving
got the
me
bling.
life.
Bring that bling.
I love your outfit today. I'm just in a t-shirt. Sorry, it's got a cat on it. If that counts, but
It's lovely. You look beautiful today with your
of course it
flowing
has a cat on it.
with your flowing natural red locks all wound up. You're looking good. You're looking good.
Thank you. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Everyday Vintage. Oh, hey. Everyday Vintage is on Instagram, and we follow each other. And they're in Norway.
Norway. Cool.
Yes.
What time is it in Norway?
I have no idea. Yes. What time is it in Norway? Yeah, she has wonderful things on Instagram. Oh my gosh, she has really good stuff. She's uh,
Kathy. Kathy. It's double D chat.
she can go tacky chat, and we're tacky. It's fine. I'm absolutely fine. I mean, I do look like I'm not tacky.
Ladonna.
Ladonna.
Hello, Ladonna.
She's like, what
Oh, you
content we
just
get into
wait,
today?
Ladonna. You just wait.
Girl,
And this isn't even my
girl,
topic. This is Dolores's topic. But I will be
it
getting
is. It
involved in a little bit.
is. Yes, it's really good. Yeah, so everybody, the weather's been great here in the UK. It's rained, thank God, because we were supposed to start hose pipe man today. Now I don't know if that's still going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. We've got like, quite a bit of rain up this way. I don't know about down south, so you know. I only worry about my 10-mile radius. That's all I'm concerned about at the moment. Right. So, okay, I think you can say Tacky Chad. Because honey, just show up. We don't care what you call us. It's 8 p.m. Okay, so you are 2 hours,
Don't want
1 hour ahead of me.
I don't want to, take over. I don't want to be too dramatic and cause it to be all about me. So I just wanted to say it's double D chat. It's not all about me.
Not at all. It's 8 p.m. in Norway, so she's
Ah,
they're an hour ahead of me. Yeah, I
okay.
want to go to Norway. I think it's. I've never been to Norway. I would love to go.
Okay, so I'm stupid about where people are at and geographic places in the world because I'm stuck here and that's all I know. I live in a little bubble here. I'm stupid about this stuff. Is Norway where you can have long nights and long days, or is that somewhere else?
I can't answer that question. I've never been to Norway. I have to wait for everyday
There's some
vintage to tell
places
us
where
about it.
it's for part of
Yeah,
the time the
I think
sun
so.
stays on the horizon, and other places it's dark all the time.
She said, "Come visit." That's it. Come visit. I'm in. Okay, I'll be messaging you later, asking you if I can stay at your house. No, I'm just kidding.
As soon as you send me
But hey,
that
it's only
voucher
across.
for plane tickets and a place to stay, I'm there.
Okay.
I'll
So
live through
we have
I'll
11
live through
people.
Dolores. I'll live through Dolores and she can do a whole video like she does when she goes to Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, he's Scotland. He can drive to Scotland. It's not a big deal. Um, which it's fun. I mean, yeah, I've never been to Norway. I would love to go. Honestly, it'd be great.
If this world wasn't
Right.
the way it was, I would love to visit everywhere,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. They
Midnight
have
Sun.
the midnight sun up in. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I think it's still beautiful though. I mean, I'd have no problem sleeping. Me and you, we have no problem sleeping. You know how we like a nap. Um, oh, I have been to Italy. I've been to Venice, Monica. I do want to go back. I definitely want to, but I'll have to. I'll have to figure something out. I think I can get a. I don't know. I don't know if Ryanair still goes there or the other one, but we can figure it out, and I'll have to come to Italy and hang
I
out
want I want to go
and
to
go
Italy.
shopping on the. Oh, it's beautiful.
I have
Oh,
always wanted to
it's,
go. My favorite movie is what the heck is the name of that? Under the Tuscan Sun. I have wanted to go to Italy since that movie. I love that movie and I want to go. I want to go visit.
yeah, it's. I mean, I went to Milano, uh, and you take like a water bus, and they have like water taxis, and but the water bus is cheaper than the water taxi. And you see her videos on Instagram. It's like just going out that thing, and she's in a water taxi, a boat going across. I'm like, I'm so jealous right now. Hey H Welch, how you doing? Thanks for showing up. Excuse me, y'all. I don't know what's going on. It's probably just fan blowing in my face because it's kind of warm in here. So today, y'all, let me just disclaimer before I even start. Disclaimer. I don't know a lot about British politics. The opinions and information I will be telling you are my opinion. They are how I feel about things. They are my how I interpret the things going on here. Are they correct? Unclear. Are they my perception? Yes. So please don't get, like, well, that's wrong. It probably is. But these are my interpretations of the facts here in the UK. So, having said that, don't come for me in the comments. I don't know what I'm talking about. But today, I want to discuss a modern Shakespearean tragedy that is playing out live on the world stage, and it's called the UK government. Yes. Now, it's not going to all be about the UK government. This is going to lead to something else, but I need to talk about this for a minute because they're all clowns, basically. So right now, I, um, uh, we're about to we're about to pick a new Tory party leader. Um, I'll get I'll get into it. Tory, you don't know, is conservative or like Republican without the religion and badness, and but they're still crazy in their own way. And then you have Labor, which is like the Democrats. Okay, like the Democratic Party or the Democrats. Okay, so picture it. So the Tories are they ousted Boris Johnson. Well, they didn't oust him. They put a vote of no confidence, and he finally left the building. He finally said, "We don't want you back." His own party. This was his own party, right? So once they pick a new party leader, that person will be the prime minister because that term hasn't finished. The prime minister term won't finish till 2025, when the next election is. Right, got it. Good. Okay, yeah. So, fortunately, the outgoing Tory leader, Boris the Buffoon Johnson, which is my little pet name for him, he will be fondly remembered for Partygate and for the ability to insult every country and culture in a in one fell swoop. Basically, he's just going to be remembered for all that wonderfulness. Yes, he is. And wait, also for his expensive taste in wallpaper. Yes, that's what he'll be remembered for. That's his legacy. Now, you've got two people. There was a whole bunch of people that wanted to be the leader of the um, Tory party, but they narrowed down to two. Two other clowns are now about to duke it out for Tory leader. Now, the first one, I guess my favorite, is Rishi Rich Sunak. Like Richie Rich. Like Richie Rich. Yeah, you got it. Why do I say that? Because his wife is the daughter of a billionaire. Not that that's a problem, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now, he was a finance chancellor. He's a finance minister here. He was until he left Boris Johnson's cabinet because he didn't agree with whatever Boris Johnson wasn't doing. His expensive wallpaper, whatever he didn't agree with. So now he's such a wonderful, wonderful candidate. Let me tell you why. Because the video leaked of him saying how he could funnel money from poorer regions in the UK and give it to the more affluent areas. Because since they're already affluent, they should be kept that way. Well, that's mighty nice of you, Richie. Also, he likes to flip flop over tax cuts. He's like, because of the whole energy crisis here in the UK, the cost is going up astronomically. He's like, well, I'll cut taxes. Yes, that's what I'll do. I'll cut taxes. I will do this and that. Meanwhile, back at the ranch a month before that, before he decided to run for Tory leader, he wasn't going to cut taxes because it wasn't financially responsible to do so. Make your mind up, Rishi. We're waiting. Now, our next candidate, who I adoringly call Liz Fussy Truss, was I believe she was the foreign secretary. Yes, that's who she was. She also left the Boris Johnson cabinet because, again, she wasn't fond of expensive wallpaper. So now she's fabulous. Let me tell you about her, honey. She also wants to uh, taxes cut taxes on green levies, like the green thing, the green projects people are trying to, companies are trying to do. She wants to go ahead and cut that so we have more money. The problem is that's not going to help the poor of the people in the nation. They're not going to get that money. So thanks, Liz. Real fond of you there. And also, let me So yeah, I know, Kathy. He's a slut. Uh, yes, he did go to Ukraine and acted like look at me. Yeah, attention seeking, girl, attention seeking. So anyway, here's another fabulous Liz Fussy Truss moment. She was actually in Gloucestershire giving a speech about how they should be putting small nuclear power plants to help with the energy crisis because here in Derbyshire, that's what we do. And I was like, wait a minute. She was in Gloucestershire and then said she was in Derbyshire. No, ma'am. You need to remember what county you're in. So she doesn't know where she's at. So that's always a bonus for Prime Minister elect. So, my favorite idea of hers was leveling down. Leveling down means leveling down for the public sector. So what you want to do is the public sector is, i.e., nurses, teachers. She said, well, people in the south of the UK, like London and the southeast, should get this much money, but people living up north, why should they get as much money? We should give them a pay cut because they live in cheaper places. Ma'am, are you okay there, ma'am? Right. So why I'm telling you this, why this is even a thing, why I'm discussing UK politics, which has nothing to do with most people in this in the chat. I get it, understand. What I'm trying to point out is it kind of doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. All these clowns don't care about us, regardless. They're so busy trying to outshine each other. I know, girl, I am wound up today. Yes, ma'am, I am. Because what winds me, and that's what I'm saying, all these politicians do is, besides wind me up, is wind each other up. There's, we have to remember what politicians are. They're supposed to be in charge of policies, y'all, policies. Policies for the greater good, not personal policies, not policies regarding your religion, not policies regarding, the person putting money in your pocket on your campaign. The policies for the general public, the people you are governing. Because if you can't do it, why are you here? What are you doing then? If you can't make policies to secure people's safety, future, simple, basic rights, what do you do? Then why do we need you? This all be anarchist then. I mean, what are we doing here? And I think what my point is was like here, whether you're here in the UK, the two biggest nations in the world, the US and the UK, we're not big, not land size, but power wise, are shit shows. They're absolute. Every we now we're not divisive the same way the US are, but we're divisive because these clowns here can't make a decision. People are suffering, and they can't even decide what's the best thing to do. Then what are you doing? What are you governing then? Get out. Sorry, I'm wound up. Daniel, would you like to address it?
Well, this is just my own personal opinion.
Well, disclaimer.
So over here, and I'm not going to get into the big things, but what is fascinating to me over here, you have that stuff going on where it's like internal politics and stuff. Here, we are actually having people who are running for power and also in power that are actually wanting to pass rules and laws and stuff to get rid of people. Let's just be
Mhm.
honest about it. They want them wiped off the face of the earth. They want them dead. They want them murdered. They want them not to exist. And these people are espousing this stuff and they're running for these offices and they're allowed to run for these offices while espousing that people need to be locked up or they need to be shot or they need to be killed or they need to have everything taken away from them so they will learn not to be who they are. Sounds familiar. Kind of like when we first came over to get away from, England because they were,
England.
yeah, because we wanted freedom
Yeah.
of religion and not to have that happen. And we come over to this country and then we decide, oh, I want this country. It's mine. I don't care who's living here. We're better. We're just going to take it over. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. And destroy all those people. We're, here we go. We're right back. We never learn. But I cannot believe here it's dangerous
Mhm.
because they are letting people, they're redrawing maps so they can get voted in how they want it, how to keep power in certain states. Isn't that right? Hanging down there in the ocean down south. Just saying. Don't say a word. I mean, You get me started too, because I cannot believe that there are people that are in power and also allowed to run for power that are actually out there voicing there are people that should be gotten rid of because they do not believe the way you do or exist in the way you do.
Right.
And then they're using the history like our forefathers. Look up what in the hell happened with our forefathers and what they did. Do
Yep.
some research. Do some
It
research
wasn't a
on
pretty
that.
picture. Yeah.
So,
And here's the thing. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. No, no. Carry on.
well, I mean, it. They're both shows, but they're so different on what's going on.
Right. Correct.
It's not about. I mean, the parties are fighting amongst each other, but it's so much more dangerous than that.
100%.
And I just
Yeah.
don't
No, you're
understand.
correct.
I don't
And yeah.
understand how it's allowed to happen. That's what I don't understand. How can a person run for an office and state that they want people gone? I don't understand.
Right. And this is my problem. And this is, and again, I mean, it's like one party's worse than the other, 100%. But why isn't the party that's not doing this stopping this? Why are you not governing what is happening to your people? If why do you care? Hi, Shirley. Why do you care? What people do in the privacy of their own home, what they choose to do is their business. If they're law-abiding citizens paying taxes, like you, you're the first, if you don't pay taxes, you're the first person door they come into. So they're gonna be at your door. Yet when you need help, like, hey, these people are trying to erase me, you don't want to be found, but you'll come and get your money. See, that's what makes me mad. And I just think that why is it? I mean, this like this group is doing this and this group's doing that. It's almost like, let me just give you a scenario. Mom and dad are fighting, the kitchen's on fire, the tub is overflowing, the kids are out in the street playing. No one's paying attention to what's going on around it because they're too busy doing this. And that's the problem. And it's just they have ignored. When you represent people, you represent everybody. You don't have to agree with everyone. This person I don't agree with, or this person I don't agree with, but I don't want them gone. I don't want them erased. I just don't have to agree with them. Do you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't want to erase or keep down a whole group of people because it's not aligned with your political party or your political message. Your political message should be making policies that keep the people you govern safe, not whatever the hell it is you want that day. Yeah, it just winds me. It does, y'all. It winds me. Let's see what we have in the comments. Yeah, I will put Madonna's up here. Yes, that is true. The parties
Dolores,
have huge factors in
take
them.
take a take a deep breath.
I'm
You're
sorry.
running out of
Sorry.
breath.
Woo! She got to fan herself. Hopefully,
I'm rather enjoying this because usually it's me. So I'm enjoying this. But yeah, that is the truth. Politics have become unrecognizable. I mean,
it's
here,
not even about
even
policies, which is what it should be.
because I'm sitting here, on one side we have ones that want people gone, and then on the other side we have let's be quiet about everything. And I, I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not understanding, but I'm a very simple-minded person, so there's that. And there's a lot more that goes on, and I'm sure across
Oh,
the in every
mm,
country with their politics, there is so much more that goes on than what we could
and
even
we don't. Yeah,
fathom.
yeah. And the great thing about here is when the news reports, it doesn't care who you are. I have to say that the news will drag you whoever you are, whether it's whatever side you are. The news will drag you. They were like, oh, so and so will be dragged, which is fine and it's good to know. But then it's like, but we become so, I think, used to it that when we see something like years ago we'd go, oh, what happened? They did what? Now we're like, nah, that's Boris Johnson, or that's so and so, or that's just who they are. Where before that would appall us, we would be like, they need to go. Now it's just like par for course. I mean, and it's like it shouldn't be that. We should still be shocked at things that people want to do or the things that they're not correct. I mean, it blows my mind because here's why. Because as you all know, it's happening in the States. Energy costs going up, cost of living is going up, inflation is 10.1% here. Don't don't be sad, y'all. Be getting it soon too. Uh, you can share the joy. The energy costs are so high. People are don't even know how if they're going to be able to heat their houses this winter here. That is beyond ridiculous. And you're like, well, why should the government step in? Because they should. Because why are you allowing these companies to gouge the hell out of people? That so let me see. What are these families like? Should I eat or will I have heat? That you're letting it happen in your own country, and people first world problems. Well, yeah, because we have voted these people in who are apparently educated and apparently have all these smarts, and you're just letting it go to the wayside. You let people suffer. More people here are going to food banks than ever before. What does that say? What does that say about your country? And the thing is, they like to put on these airs in front of everybody, but behind the scenes, people are mad. People are frustrated. People are in financial crisis. And as long as you put on a happy face, the rest of the world, we all know what's going on. But it is up to people to vote. But in this case, we're not going to get to vote. The Tories get to vote because it's not an actual election. And and I know I get very passionate about it. And because you're not making policies that protect the people who are paying their taxes and voting for you and doing all the things you're supposed to do, and you're still ignoring them. That's what winds me up. Yes, LaDonna, you put that up there. True story. That is true.
Well, and
and that's here too.
It's one of the things I don't know who said it a while ago. Kathy did. Corporations are paying them off. And it's the truth. Here in the States, like 10 companies own all of our food supply. They control the pricing and everything. Just 10 companies. So you have stuff like that where major corporations have bought out other corporations. And so there's monopolies now on food and gas and all that stuff. So the politicians aren't going to do anything because the money comes from these corporations to supply them with their lifestyle that they can afford. And it's something else when you go into the grocery store each week. I mean, here, and this is first world. I totally understand that this is a very privileged little thing to say because there are countries where you can't even get food. But walking into, I started a new eating way. I have to quit. I can't afford it. It's healthy. It's fresh fruits and vegetables and all that stuff. I can't afford it. I cannot do it. I'm going to have to go back to getting things that I can survive through the week with my belly full that is cheaper because I cannot do it.
Healthy.
Because
Yeah.
prices are getting, I mean, it's just shocking when you walk in the store. And each week it's different.
Right. And I mean, for instance, here, it's like everybody's going on strike. I talked about that last time, and I wasn't joking. Now, uh, at the ports here, a lot of the port authority people, the people who work at the ports, are going on strike because they're not getting a raise for the cost of living. And you're like, well, yeah, but you kind of can't blame them. But nobody's getting the kind of raise they want. You know what I mean? They're like, I want 8%. Inflation is 10%. I'm like, well, we all want 8%. And because and I'm not protect the companies, but then they have to pay their electric, which has also gone up. And so it's a catch-22. They're not working. They're not importing, bringing the imports into the country. No one's getting anything. It's an absolute. And the government's just like, well, we'll cut taxes on the green levies. Well, what's that going to do for me, for the guy next door, for the lady down the street with the kids who's got to buy school uniforms and got to decide, well, am I going to have, are we going to eat or are we going to have to eat this winter? What are we going to do?
Well,
And
are we going to stop raises for the politicians and stop giving them insurance and all that stuff? Like all these companies are trying to cut off from people and make them part-time to
mm-hmm.
where they don't even get a full-time wage, so they
Yep.
can't have benefits. Are we going to do that with all the leaders across the world? That might help if we could, dip into the stuff that they're all being
Yeah.
paid.
Can we sell off some of their like 2 or 3 homes they have because they knew a friend who a friend and got the house cheap in the middle of London, which is now worth I don't know, 50 million, and because they get paid so much, and they're like, and it's just, and to see and we do say it is a first world problem. The problem, and I'm not saying it's not, but when you see you're a powerful nation like the UK or the US, and you look out of your window and you see triple the amount of people at food banks, you have to say to yourself, as a government, there's a problem. There's a big problem, and we have to solve it. We have to. Yeah, take yourself checkers off. Yeah, loads of money for that. And there's an issue here that where our people that pay taxes, that work very hard, that do all these things, are law-abiding citizens, are now can't afford both food and heat. What are we going to do about it? So I just find that these people have no clue as to what the needs of the government has no idea the needs of the everyday person. They don't. I mean, I technically work 2 jobs. My husband retired is now working 2 part-time jobs. You know what I mean? and if so, and not that I'm hard done by, but I'm thinking all the people that are maybe as fortunate as me, who lost their jobs, who can't get another job. What about them? People with little kids, people with more than one kid, people who people who have parents they take over, people who just live alone and make a certain wage, and that's just enough for now. What happens when everything goes up?
Well,
so that one person go out and get 3 or 4 jobs just to survive?
That's like, this winter. It's according to how bad the winter is. If it ends up being a very cold winter this winter, a lot of people are not going to be able to afford to heat their homes, and then you're going to have a whole world of problems. I mean, even me, I don't know what it's going to be like. I may have to. And then if you shut your heat way down, you have a chance, if it's really cold, your pipe's freezing. That's a whole different thing. I mean, if you just let them shut your electricity and all that stuff off, you would have to shut your water off to keep it from freezing. Well, then where are you going to get all,
Yeah.
It's something to constantly think. I think that's why everybody is so tired and stressed all the time, because there's just so much unknown right now that it's just amazing.
This is also a true statement. Most people don't have a home by this winter. That's a reality for a lot of people, because they're even before the hey Chrissy, even before the vid happened, people were doing okay-ish, and then the vid happened, and a lot of people lost their jobs, and a lot of people had to change their whole lifestyle according to what they did in life. If they were like working in the public in a in the service industry, they didn't have a job. We just get back to some kind of normality, and then the energy goes up. And what I don't understand is why, because they're like, oh, the Ukraine, the war. Da, da, da. I'm like, you know what? No, 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 because they announced our fuel going up, our energy going up far before that even happened. They announced it back in December that it was going up in February or January, February. Now they're blaming the situation over there. And I'm
Well,
like,
plus,
oh,
like
no.
anything else, if you've noted, at least here, if you notice, since it's been going on for a while, there's not even much discussion on the war that's going on over there now. I mean, it's
True.
like everything else. Once something's carried on, people just kind of forget about it, ignore it. So, is that our problem?
You
I mean,
become, yeah,
if that is our problem, then why aren't we still talking about it? And why aren't we trying to figure out
because
what
it's
could
not the problem.
be done? I mean,
I mean, it's a problem within itself. Don't get me wrong. It's still an issue. It's a big issue. It's a situation because that will affect the energy Europe gets, not the UK, because the UK only gets about 4 or 5% of their energy from Russia. Most of it we get off the North Sea. Just like in the United States, you don't get probably any oil from there or very little. So what's your excuse?
I agree with LaDonna.
What's the excuse? What did I say? Let me look. Okay. It's the people in the stock market that with the trigger finger is quite insane. Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like with the gas prices and all that stuff and the stock market. Any rumor, it doesn't even have to have happened, just a rumor, all of a sudden they can just make the prices go whatever they want to and do all that stuff. And people, and they, the governments are always talking about price gouging and fun. It happens constantly. All there has to be is a little rumor spread, and then they're allowed to just
Mm-hmm.
make things change however they want them to.
Hey, Jeannie. Thanks for popping in. Sandy Robinson, when the minimum wage went up, so did everything else too. Yeah, companies want more now. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's almost like you give someone a little bit. I'm going to give you this little bit here. So this little bit, I'm going to give you that. But I'm going to take this. It's like, oh, whoa, whoa.
Well, that's
I just got caught up. Quit taking stuff.
like here in Illinois, they passed the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and this was,
Mhm.
I think it was before the pandemic ever happened, but it was spread out over years. You didn't like get it, each after
Right.
they did a couple raises, then it was like $1 a year until you reach 15. Well, then this was causing all the smaller companies to go, we're going to have to shut down or we're going to have to get rid of people, all this stuff. Well, now that this has happened, that $15, once it's reached, is going to be like what we were making before we even
You
got a
did
raise.
before, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, yeah.
maybe even worse.
Yeah, and it's just I think that was the whole beginning of this when I was talking about the clownery of of people of wanting to be the new prime minister is that they're all clowns. They have no concern for me, the people next door, the lady down the street. Just pretty much like your government isn't looking after you, Daniel, you, Steph, you, Jeannie. They're not. And the idea is you're supposed to be governed. Be a leader. Don't be stupid. Don't be dumb. Be a leader of people. And they're not. You're leading me. You're leading me off a cliff. You're leading me off a cliff, and I'm not going to follow you anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have all this stuff going on here in the US that is completely about people. Personal people. I see nothing going on if they would all take both of the sides would take that energy on trying to
Mhm.
tell which one of us can live and which can't and use it to focus on getting us back financially where everybody can, survive. That would be a
Mhm.
glorious thing. If they both could do that and quit this trying, anyways.
Yeah. It's a pissing contest. It's a pissing contest between the parties. It's like, well, I can do this, and look at me, I can do this. Well, if you do that, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, hang on, where are your policies? Because you're not making any. You're making idiot laws. You're upsetting people, and people who pay taxes. I might add, people who go to work every day and do the things you ask them to do. Yet you're going to condemn them for what? Because you don't believe in their lifestyle. That's none of your business. They pay their taxes. Make the policies that are going to protect them. Quit nitpicking here and little fucking groups of people and treat your people as a whole, because that is what they are. Your whole country. Yes, we're all individuals. I appreciate that, but we all have the same needs and wants. We all need to be protected to a certain degree by the people we elected into office, not the people we elected to be clowns. I don't think that was on. I don't think that was a campaign slogan with anybody. I won't be a clown. Vote for me. We all say, yeah, okay. No, that's not what happened. So, and it's just, and I think we have to talk about it, because it's just like, I know, and again, we don't all have to have agree on everything, but what we can agree on is that both governments are not looking after our best interests, or not even looking at the best interests of the country or the planet or the kids or the animals, or they're not taking care of the people they govern. That's my issue. I can't believe I'm up about it, y'all. Sorry about it. I hate to be so aggressive, but it's just because this is why, because I read this stuff and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? How can I can see it? Little old bitty Dolores in, low Chesterfield, England, can see that you're all clowns, but y'all can't see it. Like the people who are in it and the people around them don't tell them, and the people around them don't tell them. It's like, oh my gosh. Stop the ride. I want to get off.
And I don't see any way to fix.
It's yeah, that's the other thing. How do we fix it?
If you look at the people that are running for offices or anybody who's in charge, I don't see any way for it to be fixed.
Mm-mm. The only thing, well, there was a lot of talk about, like, a lot of people who pay their fuel, payments, like their gas and electric, and we pay direct debit. So it comes like they take whatever out a month, and that sometimes we're in overage, sometimes we're not. So like in the summer, I'll be over because I don't use as much electricity. So I have my heat on. I don't have a lot of appliances on, except for a fan. We're gone. You're out doing stuff. But in the wintertime, because it's colder, you're more inside more. So you pay this certain amount a month, and you're over in the summer, and then come wintertime, all the money, all that extra credit you had is being eaten up. So the idea was, well, first people were saying, don't pay your bills. Pay your bills. If you can, pay your bills. Don't not pay your bills, because you won't have electricity. So the idea here was to stop your direct debit and just pay them every month, because that money that accrues is sitting on that's collecting interest. So if everybody stopped doing the direct debit, I'm just going to pay monthly. Let me just go, here's my bill, let me go online and pay it, or whatever. We don't really do checks here. But like, we don't send checks in, at least I don't. I don't know anybody who does. But like, you go online and pay it like that, just every month. And that way, and if everybody did that, they would lose so much money. And they would, and that's the thing. And then we were like, here in Clay Cross, years and years ago, there was a rent strike where people who lived in houses like owned by the council was putting up their rent £1 a week. £1 a week. Why? Well, I can see £1 a month every week. So everybody went out, and the counselors that were in this area said, don't pay, stop paying rent. And even the counselors in this area, they got in trouble. They all got in trouble, and they all got sued. But there was a big, huge like march out here years ago at Clay Cross where people had a rent strike, and it was like national news, and they stopped doing it. So I think if there was a way we could peacefully everybody get together, it's like no, we're not doing it. We're not paying our direct debit anymore. You're not getting
Well,
our
that's
money
what
until.
I've said. If people would just not drive for one day, but you have people that are trying to feed their families, so they can't do that. You have nurses and doctors and stuff that have to keep people alive, so you can't do that.
No, but yeah,
There's
yeah.
no way to get ever, and plus everybody would not agree to do all this stuff. But if we had a cohesive power of the people, then you know, if we stop certain things, then things would change. Do you
Hmm.
think if everybody across the
Yeah.
United States, or the majority of them, would not drive for one day to show their anger on gas prices, that it wouldn't change something? Or if they stopped for
It
or
would.
if they kept doing it till they showed, hey, this, I mean, uh, but I know that's impossible. And I do want to say something, H. Welch. She says, vote, make your voice heard loud. I am not demoting voting at all. I have shouted vote, get your votes in there, do all that stuff. But here, they're redrawing districts and doing all kinds of things to make the vote
Mm,
count a certain way.
dodgy.
And look, was it Kansas? I think it was Kansas, passed an abortion thing where they're, abortions. They made them recount the votes. And it still turned out that people voted that it was let's
Yeah, it
have a.
was legal. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think they're making them count them again. I can't. I don't know if that's factual or not, but they did make them recount it. So even when you vote, they're still trying to say no, that's not right. It's all fake. That people were.
yeah.
It's just mind
It's it's because it
boggling
didn't go their
what is
way.
going on.
Because it didn't go their way. They're like, well, I don't like the outcome, so do it again. It's like that's not how it works. Let's see. Let's see. Black belt. We talked about. Have you had no idea? Yeah, we're struggling over here with the energy prices. $50 order. Yeah, it's. You haven't heard me complain about 54% every time I talk.
I was going to say, Sally, have you not listened to? I've known about this for months now.
And it's just going up. And here's the reality of it over here. By January, our fuel price cost will be $6,000, £6,000 a year. Who can pay that? I mean, I could, I will be struggling to pay that. And guess I technically work two jobs. I work a one full time job and my like part time gig that y'all know I have. Dave works two because Dave retired. And I mean, he wanted to go back to work. He did, but he now works two part time jobs. £6,000 a year? Heck, I can get a used car cheaper than that. You know what I'm saying? It's what? And that's the and people go, well, they have the right to make a profit. Oh yeah, I'm all about making a profit, but now you're gouging people. Now you're at the point where people are going to starve or not have heat because you're so greedy. There's plenty. I mean, you're not. If you told me your 6,000 pounds, Miss Miller, is going to go to build a green energy plant, well, we're going to either have wind turbines or uh, even sorry, what are the things on light? What was it called? Solar energy. I couldn't think, or sea energy from the waves. That's where your money's going. If they tell me that, I'd be like, okay, and here's your receipt for that. This is your part in it. They're not doing that. They're just taking my money and giving it out to the CEOs and the big guys, and so they're not even taking my money and doing anything useful with it. But no, putting it back into green energy, which I'd be like, "Oh, okay, all right, I'm still struggling, but all right, we're gonna have a solution for the future." No, they're not doing that. That's what winds me up. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, she's heated today, y'all.
I guess we could look at it this way. I don't know if this helps or not, but I mean, they all could say, "Well, we're you guys are griping about all this stuff. We're just going to shut down. You're not going to have any energy coming in. You're not going to have any gas coming in. Fend for yourself. Have fun."
They're not going to do that because they want to make the money. They're
I
not
know,
going to do that.
that's
There's
what I'm
no way.
saying. What would we do
Yeah.
if they just stopped? Because
They're
I
too
ain't,
greedy
I
just
ain't
to
cutting
stop.
no firewood. I ain't going out in them woods cutting no firewood. I pump.
Especially with Bigfoot out there.
I was getting ready to say, I've dealt with all that crap. I know what that's like. It ain't fun, let me tell you. And I am old
I
now.
mean, there's a fireplace. Somebody
I
put a
would be
burn barrel in my house.
killed in the first day. I'd be chopping my legs off with that chainsaw, and trees would be falling on me. And Lord have
Yeah,
mercy.
no, no. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a fireplace. I guess I just put a burn barrel in the middle of my living room. It's like, this is nice or
See, that's the
black in the
thing.
walls.
Set up these things to where we basically have to have them now. Kind of like, and don't even get me started on this, but I'm going to mention it: insurance, because they pass laws where you
Oh,
have to have insurance on your car. You have to have insurance if you were have a loan on your house, and
mm-hmm.
have to have them. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to have it, and they can then do whatever prices they want to because you have to have it. Because, like here, I do believe that they make you have, oh my God, Double D
Could you
survival.
imagine? We would never
It
survive. There you
started on
go.
the
End of
first
story.
episode and ended on the first episode. They're both dead because she ain't doing no Laura Ingalls crap, and I ain't messing with the bugs.
I have to wash dishes once, and I call him. I Marco Polo and go, "Oh my God, you think I was Laura Ingalls Wilder over here washing dishes?" And he was like, "Oh my God, stop."
But I mean, they made it where you have to have this stuff, and then they don't care if you can't afford it. So what? Sorry, sorry. And like here, I
Yeah,
believe in where I'm living, you have to have the electricity and the water turned on, or you cannot live in that place. See,
yeah. I think it's the same here.
you don't really own.
Yeah.
You think you do. You think you own the house. You think you own the land. You don't. They can do whatever they want to. Just like they decided to put in companies putting in new fiber optic cables. They came drugging through my yard. They put a pole in my yard. I was not asked if it was okay because they have the right of way. In my backyard, I had cable company dig and put a line underneath. Nobody told me anything. I walked out one day and there was a guy in my backyard drilling a trench across my yard. I just
I
kind
mean,
of
it was
looked
kind of
at
hot though.
him, and he was like, "No, wrong people. This was a different one. This was
Oh, no,
earlier."
no, it's the other people. Okay. Oh,
Yeah. And he just, well, we have the right way to do this. So I'm like, well, I'm glad I was
okay.
told
It's my
somebody was
land.
going
It's
to dig
not.
through the middle of my yard. So you don't really, even though you think you do, you don't own it. If you don't pay taxes, they'll take it away from you. If you miss payments to the bank, they'll take it away from you. I mean,
Wow,
so
Sandy. That's yeah. So this is was, and I don't have a solution. I wish I did. I wish I could go right now. We're going to do this, you guys. We're going to band together and do. I don't have a solution. I mean, voting, yes. Getting calling these people out, yes. But we've been doing that. And we've called out Boris Johnson. He's gone. Now he's going to be replaced with, sorry, excuse my French, another twat. I mean, that he doesn't have the needs of the people at stake, at heart. That doesn't make the policies for the people that they govern. And that was kind of my point for today's talk, was that it does wind me up, and I own it. I mean, I get very heated about it. Daniel's heard me many times get heated about it just in private conversations. And um, yeah, it's just that, and I don't know what the answer is. I wish I had the answer. I wish I did. I really wish I did. All I can say is, if you can, maybe donate to the food bank, donate to help each other out in situations. Make, if you have extra and you made extra, like sometimes when Dave will make a big cake or whatever, he'll go to each of the neighbors and give them cake. It's not a lot, and they didn't, I don't know if they need it, but I mean, he does, and we just, whatever little bit you can do, if you can help somebody else, or you need help, you can just, there's places that can help. There are, but it's a shame that we have to get to that point. But sometimes all we have is each other, and we have to look after each other. And because these people ain't looking after us, I don't feel like. Do you know what I mean?
I have to change the subject just a little bit.
Sure.
LaDonna, Holly, you people are killing me. I just started a new channel for you guys, and here you are wanting me to do another one. Come on. I'm only one man.
Come on, Daniel, get that channel out
How
there.
many channels can I
Survival.
have? And on top of that, if I start
Uh,
my OnlyFans thing, I mean, when am I going to have time to do anything?
I mean, and so, and I, like I said, I wish I had an answer, and I don't. I just had to vent, y'all, and I knew you guys would understand because you're like, you think the same way, and and you feel the same way. It doesn't, again, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. We're all being, I feel like we're all being made fools out of. Hey, Jan, I feel like these people are like taking the piss out of us and winding me up intentionally, and everybody else around me.
I didn't
So
know that you were wound up.
I know it's hard to tell. I have such a poker face.
Breathe, Dolores, breathe.
I was like, where's my puffer? I don't even use a puffer, but I needed one at that point. And yeah, you can't change the world, but you can make, yeah, exactly, A12. You can't change the world. And we can. It's just going to be a slow process getting rid of these clowns. That we got rid of one, now we got to get rid of the rest of them. Geez. Um, and and so if you can help someone else out or you need help, here's the thing: if you need help, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to get help. That's why there's organizations out there and help. So never be afraid to ask for help, or never be embarrassed to help someone else ever. Because like I said, right now all we have is each other at the moment, because no, these clowns aren't looking after our best interest, and that's a shame. But and I just want to talk about it because it winds me up. And oh, in the description of this video, there are a couple of charities that I put in. You don't have to donate to them. They're not affiliated with me at all, but they are some of my favorite charities. So just want to check them out. And but if, like I said, even if you just help each other, even just a neighbor, check on your elderly neighbors, especially during the wintertime, to make sure, even if that means giving them an extra coat, extra blankets to help them through. That's, just being a good human sometimes helps other people. Daniel, I just, and on that note, Daniel.
You're trying to make me, you know, my heart is this big, so don't let silence sit there. Don't make me make me be nice. Dag nabbit. Oh, we can do a whole show on healthcare costs. Let's not even go there.
Girl, we could do a whole show on healthcare. We really could, and we will. It is a topic that people can get heated about, like I didn't get heated today. But but we should do that actually, because it's very that winds me up as well. But yeah, you're gonna be nice if it kills you, Daniel. Thank you, Jan. But thanks, guys, for hanging out with us, letting me vent, letting you guys vent about it. I appreciate it. I'm so glad you guys stopped by. Remember, next week it'll be on Daniel's channel, and the link to his channel. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to Daniel. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. And you guys take care and have a fabulous rest of your week. And we will see you next week. Y'all take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.